The sun rose, painting the sky with hues of gold. As the Buddha sat beneath the ancient banyan tree, disciples gathered in silence, their hearts eager to absorb his words, seeking wisdom to soothe their troubled minds. Among them was Ananda, his face shadowed by worry, carrying burdens too heavy for a single soul to bear. "Master," Ananda began hesitantly, his voice trembling, "my thoughts are consumed by fear of what could happen, endlessly haunting my mind. The problems we attempt to evade," Buddha continued, his tone measured, "become shadows cast by the fears we refuse to face." Ananda nodded, his heart heavy, but he remained attentive, curious to grasp the profound wisdom Buddha was revealing. The Buddha regarded him with compassion, his eyes filled with understanding, the weight of humanity's struggles etched in his expression. "Ananda, bring me that sack of stones," he instructed, pointing toward a sack resting against the trunk of the banyan tree. "I will share a tale with you, one that mirrors the struggles you feel within your soul," Buddha began. "Once, a merchant lost his fortune and sank into despair. His riches scattered like leaves in a storm," he said. Step by step, Ananda felt the stone's weight pressing harder. His breath labored, his pace slowed, worry etched into his features. "Master," Ananda gasped after a while, "I cannot carry this sack any farther. It is too heavy, crushing my strength." The Buddha stopped, his voice gentle yet firm. "And so are the worries you carry, weighing down your heart and mind." Ananda looked at him, confused yet eager to understand, the heavy sack resting on his shoulders, his spirit burdened by fear. "These stones you carry, Ananda, are not yours, yet you have taken them up as if they were," said the Buddha. "Why would you burden yourself with what does not belong to you?" "Ananda, is this not the same with your fears?" Ananda, his mind racing, looked at the sack, suddenly realizing the parallel between its weight and the worries haunting him. Each day, the merchant tended to the soil, offering small acts of care to a patch of barren ground, Buddha explained. Slowly, the seed sprouted, its fragile stem a testament to resilience and the promise of new beginnings, Buddha said. The Buddha placed a hand gently on the sack, taking it from Ananda, and setting it down on the earth. "When we release what is not ours to carry, Ananda, we find freedom. This applies equally to our worries and fears." Ananda stood silently, the tension leaving his shoulders, as he gazed at the sack now lying on the forest floor. The Buddha smiled softly, his presence radiating peace. As he spoke, "Do not borrow the burdens of a day yet to come. The world will unfold as it must. Ananda, your fear does not prevent or change it, but it disturbs your peace." Ananda bowed deeply, gratitude filling his heart. As the disciples absorbed the teaching, their spirits lightened by its profound truth. The Buddha sat once more beneath the banyan tree, the serenity of his being enveloping the gathered disciples like a gentle breeze. "This sack of stones, Ananda, is but a reflection of the unnecessary burdens we place upon ourselves in our daily lives. The fears you listed are shadows of the mind. Ananda, they hold no substance unless you give them weight," he explained. "When you loosen your grip on fear, Ananda, life begins to flow freely, unrestrained by imagined troubles or distant storms." The disciples sat in silent reverence, understanding the weight they carried in their hearts, yearning to release the fears binding them. The Buddha continued, his voice resonating with timeless wisdom. "Fear robs us of the present, the only moment where life truly exists. When we surrender fear, Ananda, we surrender to the infinite possibilities of the now, without being constrained by distant uncertainties." Megha, a young disciple, stepped forward, her eyes hesitant, her heart weighed by unspoken fears. "Blessed One," Megha began softly, "I find myself paralyzed by the fear of failure and the uncertainty of the unknown. The river teaches us resilience. Ananda, life will bring stones into our path, yet we must continue to move forward. The young man walked to the stream, kneeling at its edge, watching the water meander through rocks and roots effortlessly. The stream teaches resilience. Trust in the natural flow. Ananda, when the time comes to act, you will find the strength within to face it. To live without fear is to embrace the present moment. Ananda, it is here, now, that your life truly resides. Jita sat down among the disciples, his heart lighter yet filled with newfound clarity and purpose. Buddha said, "Let this day's teaching be a reminder that self-worth is not given or taken but always present." Within, the Buddha paused, his silence echoing the depth of his words. As the disciples reflected on the weight of their own burdens, release the chain. Ananda, as you released the sack. Courage, Megha, Buddha replied, is not the absence of fear, but the resolve to act despite its presence. He knelt by the riverbank, his hand gathering droplets of water that sparkled with the morning's light. Seek not to love yourself for what you achieve but for simply being a thread in life's tapestry. The disciples bowed their heads in reverence, carrying Buddha's teachings with them in their hearts. Fear whispers of what might come, Ananda, but it cannot tell the truth. It only conjures shadows without substance, he said. The disciples began to rise. Their spirits lifted, their hearts ready to embrace life with a newfound courage and understanding. Ananda gazed at the sack one last time, the symbol of his fears now resting silently. No longer an unendurable weight. The journey of freedom begins with releasing the burden. Ananda, the Buddha said, let your first step be free of fear, as the sunlight danced across the forest floor. The disciples walked forward, carrying only the lightness of wisdom gained that day. Life's challenges are like this mud, the Buddha continued, seemingly dirty, yet they nourish the roots of our strength. The young man asked, Blessed One, how do we embrace the mud without being consumed by its weight and darkness? Mindfulness is the answer, Buddha replied, a practice that grounds us, even as the chaos of life swirls around us. The Buddha remained beneath the banyan tree, his presence eternal in the hearts of those who sought his timeless teachings. Another day, another lesson unfolded beneath the sky. As the Buddha gathered his disciples by the tranquil riverbank, the water flowed steadily, its gentle current carrying whispers of serenity. As the sun cast golden light upon the scene, among the disciples was Maha, his heart burdened by anger from an event that continued to disturb his peace. Master, Maha began hesitantly, his voice laden with frustration. I cannot free myself from the anger caused by another's careless actions. The Buddha's gaze softened, his voice steady and kind. Maha, tell me, what has stirred such unrest within you? Maha looked at the water, the reflection of his own troubled mind mirroring his struggle. A man acted recklessly, harming me. The Buddha gestured toward the river, his words flowing like the current, carrying wisdom to those who sought understanding. Consider this river. Maha, the Buddha began. Its waters collide with objects, yet it flows onward without anger or hesitation. What lies before us, Maha, is the natural order. Like the river, we must move forward despite obstacles in our path. Maha remained silent, the tension in his heart weighing him down, his thoughts circling the hurt caused by another's actions. The Buddha picked up a small stone, tossing it into the water. Ripples formed, spreading outward until the surface calmed. Observe the ripples, Maha, the Buddha said. They react to the stone but return to stillness. Untroubled by what occurred, the stone has no intent to harm. Maha, it simply falls. Like this, life unfolds with challenges beyond our control. The disciples watched the ripples fade, understanding the wisdom in the simplicity of nature. yearning for such peace within. Anger, maha, is the ripple within the heart, stirred by resistance. It disturbs the mind but cannot change the event. The careless actions of another are but the stone tossed into your river. Maha, they hold no power over you. Let anger go. Maha, as the river lets go of the ripples, allowing the water to flow freely once again. The woman disciple, still reflecting on her personal loss, asked, how do we find meaning in the mud of our lives? Meaning arises not from the absence of challenges, Buddha said, but from our ability to transform suffering into wisdom and compassion. The Buddha told a story. Once, a potter molded clay into vessels, each unique, each shaped by hands guided by intention. The clay endured fire, Buddha continued, to harden and fulfill its purpose. Just as our trials shape the essence of our being, through our struggles, Buddha said, we find opportunities to grow, to strengthen the spirit and deepen our compassion for others. The disciples listened closely, their hearts resonating with the metaphor, understanding that trials refine rather than diminish their inner light. The Buddha concluded, like the lotus, rise above the mud, you cannot prevent the boat from drifting. Maha, nor can you prevent others from acting carelessly. Release your resistance to these. The disciples nodded, absorbing the wisdom shared with Maha, knowing their own struggles were reflected in his journey of understanding. To live without fear, Maha, is to trust the flow, knowing we possess the strength to navigate life's currents peacefully. Fear and anger rise from within, Maha, yet their roots are shallow. When we no longer nourish them, they wither away. The Buddha paused, allowing his words to ripple through the gathered disciples, resonating like the echoes within a vast, tranquil forest. Maha bowed deeply, his gratitude sincere, as his heart grew lighter, carrying the wisdom to guide him through future trials. The Buddha smiled, his presence radiating peace, as he gestured to the horizon, where sunlight sparkled upon the distant waters. Observe the river as it embraces the stones. Maha, it finds harmony not through resistance but by flowing around them. Life brings stones into our path, Maha, yet, like the river, we possess the power to move forward without hesitation. An empty boat may collide with yours, Maha, but anger only churns the waters, disturbing your peace and clarity. Life's challenges are storms, Buddha continued, but strength comes from grounding yourself, nourishing your inner roots with reflection and kindness. The young man asked, Blessed One, how do we root ourselves deeply when the surface feels barren and the trials relentless? Cultivate your inner self, Buddha replied, through daily acts of mindfulness, compassion, and gratitude, even in the smallest moments. Strength does not arrive in waves but grows gradually, like drops of water feeding a stream, Buddha explained with calm wisdom. The disciples pondered his words, their faces thoughtful, their hearts seeking the depth and clarity of his profound teachings. It flows unshaken by stones, embracing its journey without fear. Maha smiled faintly, the echoes of his anger now fading, replaced by the clarity gifted by the Buddha's teachings. You are the river, Maha, flowing within the current of life. Trust your strength, and you will navigate with peace. As the sun dipped lower, casting its golden glow across the gathered disciples, they rose, carrying wisdom within their hearts. The Buddha remained seated, his gaze steady upon the river, as if communing with its eternal lesson of harmony and flow. The disciples listened closely, their breaths deliberate, their minds attuned to the wisdom of persistence echoed in the Buddha's words. The Buddha continued, when adversity seems overwhelming, focus on the present moment, for clarity arises only in the here and now. Through mindfulness, Buddha said, you learn to adapt, to navigate challenges without resistance, finding strength in the fluidity of life. The young man asked again. How do we sustain courage when doubts and fears creep into our hearts and minds? Doubt and fear are natural, Buddha replied. But courage arises from facing them, not avoiding them, embracing them with awareness. Another day, another gathering unfolded beneath the twilight sky. As the Buddha welcomed his disciples to an open clearing, the evening breeze carried whispers of serenity, its touch gentle, as stars began to shimmer against the deepening canvas of dusk. Among the disciples sat Nanda, his heart heavy with fears unknown to others. His gaze fixed on the earth beneath him. Master, Nanda began hesitantly, his voice trembling, I fear the darkness ahead, the unknown, and the challenges I cannot foresee. Light always remains behind the clouds, Buddha said. Patience reveals it, persistence keeps it in sight. Even through shadows of doubt, the woman disciple, who had endured great loss, asked, Blessed One, how do we transform pain into wisdom and compassion? Pain is a teacher, Buddha said. It refines our understanding of life, deepening our empathy and broadening our perspective toward others. I fear failure, loss, and the trials of tomorrow. The Buddha lifted a single lotus flower, its delicate petals glowing softly in the fading light of day. Observe this flower, Nanda, the Buddha said. It blossoms without fear, trusting the sun will rise to nurture its growth. Nanda gazed at the flower, his breath steadying, yet doubt lingered within him, questioning his ability to overcome fear. The lion, the Buddha continued, is not afraid, for it knows its strength. Fear arises when we forget our inner power. Nanda listened intently, yearning to grasp the wisdom the Buddha shared, his mind seeking clarity to navigate his struggles. The darkness does not frighten the flower, Nanda, the Buddha explained, for it trusts the light will return. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. Fear, Nanda, is but a shadow cast by the mind. It holds no substance unless we give it form. The Buddha gestured to the clearing, where shadows danced beneath the moonlight, moving as the wind carried them across the earth. Do shadows harm the flower, Nanda? The Buddha asked, his voice steady, his question piercing through Nanda's layers of doubt. Nanda shook his head slowly, replying, No, Master. Shadows pass, leaving no mark upon the flower, which continues to bloom. Indeed, Nanda, the Buddha said, and so it is with fear. It passes when we cease to nourish it with our thoughts. The Buddha smiled and picked up a small pebble, tossing it into a nearby pond. Do you hear the ripples whispering about the pebble? He asked. Nanda hesitated but obeyed, his voice quivering as he spoke. I fear failure in my duties and losing those I hold dear. I fear the weight of responsibility, the uncertainty of life's path, and my inability to overcome what lies ahead. The Buddha listened patiently, his silence resonating with understanding. As the disciples reflected on their own unspoken fears, you are not alone in your fears, Nanda, the Buddha said, for they are shared by all who walk life's path. The Buddha held the lotus flower higher, its petals unfurling like a beacon of courage, standing radiant amidst the shadows. Fear fades when we bring it into the light, Nanda. It is the lion within that roars against the shadows. The lion does not fear the storm, Nanda, for it trusts its strength to face whatever may come. Within you lies the strength to overcome fear, Nanda, yet you must trust it, just as the flower trusts the sun. Nanda gazed at the lotus flower, his spirit stirring, as the Buddha's words sank deeply into the roots of his soul. The disciples felt the weight of their own fears lifting, carried away by the wisdom shared within the moonlit clearing. Fear whispers of what may come, Nanda, yet it cannot tell the truth. It conjures shadows without substance, the Buddha said. The clearing grew still. the disciples holding their breath, their hearts yearning to embrace the clarity offered by the Buddha's teachings. Life's challenges will come, Nanda, but within you lies the power to rise above them. You are stronger than you know. You are the lion, Nanda, the lotus, the river. Trust yourself, and let the winds of fear pass without disturbance. Nanda bowed deeply, his gratitude unwavering, as he felt courage ignite within him. Ready to face the uncertainties ahead, the Buddha smiled softly, his presence timeless, as he placed the lotus flower gently into Nanda's hands. A symbol of strength. Take this flower, Nanda, and remember its lesson. Fear passes when we trust our own strength to endure and overcome. The disciples watched, their hearts filled with hope, as Nanda clutched the flower tightly. Feeling its radiance within his spirit, the lion roars against the storm. Nanda, not in defiance but with trust in its power to face and endure. The clearing seemed to hum with harmony, as the disciples rose, carrying the wisdom of the Buddha within their hearts. The moonlight illuminated the paths ahead, its gentle glow guiding each disciple toward their journey. Unburdened by the weight of fear, the Buddha remained seated, his gaze steady upon the horizon, as if watching the infinite possibilities of life stretching before him. Nanda walked toward the river, the lotus in his grasp, its presence a reminder of the courage now blossoming within him. The disciples followed, their spirits lifted, their hearts united by the teachings shared beneath the twilight sky. The river flowed steadily, its waters shimmering under the moonlight, a reflection of life's endless rhythm and harmony. The Buddha spoke one final time, his voice serene and steady. Fear fades when we trust in the strength of our being. As the stars cast their light upon the clearing, the disciples departed, carrying the Buddha's wisdom toward the paths of tomorrow. In trust, he said, happiness resides, not as an object to chase but as a presence to live. The lesson deepened, its truth unfolding with the rhythm of the night, becoming a part of our being. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.